evening and welcome, fellow travelers. It's that time once again. It's time for this. It's time for the Psychedelicatessen right here on Cheer FM and on Radio Gordo. I'm your host, Randall LeBron, guiding us through 2 hours of psychedelia on a Saturday night, and welcome to summer. Yes, that's right. This is the first show of the summer for 2023. It's hard to believe that we're already here at this point in the year, and it's going by fast, and it's, a reasonable weekend. It's definitely not heat dome weather, to use modern parlance, but you know what, it's a nice enough weekend that I think maybe a good mood. Not that we're really sourpusses around here or anything like that, but I think we're going to be in a good mood, and we're going to have a bit of fun with tonight's show. I have a few songs having to do with summertime. There's some jams. There's some stuff that's going to be included in the mix that I've never, to the best of my at times spotty and at times amazingly precise recollection, that I haven't played on this show before. I'll just throw it out there right now. I'm going to play some Pharoah Sanders from 1966 in the show, probably in the second half of the show. So if you want to hang around for that, we'll get there eventually. In the meantime, I also have a set from Hungarian guitarist Gabor Szabo that's going to be standing by, but to start things off, because you need to start things off, and starting it off tonight, the honors goes to Paul Kantner and Jefferson Starship from the Blows Against the Empires album. This is Mau Mau, right here on the Psychedelicatessen.
Hide, witch, hide, the good folks come to burn thee, their keen enjoyment hid behind a gothic mask of duty. Put your old ladies back in the bed, put your old men into the grave, cover their ears so they can't hear us sing, cover their eyes so they can't see us play. Get out of the way, let the people play. We gonna get down on you, come alive all over you, dancing down into your town. Yeah. You know Tyrannosaurus Rex was destroyed before by a furry little ball that crawled along the primeval jungle floor. It stole the eggs of the dinosaur. Close your eyes and create the sound. Open your hands and rebuild the ground. We are egg snatchers, flashing sunshine children, bunch of diamond thieves. Yeah. You unleash the dogs of a great B-movie star governor's war, while you sit in the dark, sing with the fear of dying. We'll fall in your parks, sing with the flash of living. I'm alive, I'm human, I will be alive again. So drop your fucking bombs, burn your demon babies. I will be your dead, rabid lover, feeling the starch in your breath, calling for acid, cocaine glass, and receiving your homemade gin. Push the button, pull the switch, cut the beam, come on, make it march. Sign me up as a diplomat, my only office is the park. Yeah. Open it, baby.
Nice way to open up the show tonight. Paul Kantner, Jefferson Starship, Mau Mau. That album is essentially Jefferson Airplane and Friends, hence the moniker Jefferson Starship. Now Starship became something a little bit different when they rolled around. Just sort of over time, you kind of saw just a full-on blurring of the lines between Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship. That wasn't any kind of "we built this city on rock and roll" version right there, and time has softened my opinion of that particular song. I still think it's pretty ludicrous, but I would rather listen to that than much of the mumble mouth rappers, and I might as well be an old man shaking my fist at the sky making such a comment, but it's just going to be the way it goes, all right? Because, instead of listening to those mumble mouth rappers, I would much, much, much rather listen to something like this next group. It's Sly and the Family Stone. The album is Stand, going back to 1969 for this one, and this is the one that opened up that album. Damn fine way to do it. This is Stand right here on the Psychedelicatessen.
Stand, in the end, you'll still be you. One that's done all the things you set out to do. Stand, there's a cross for you to bear. Things to go through if you're going anywhere. Ooh, stand for the things you know are right. It's the truth that the truth makes them so alive. Stand, all the things you want are real. You have you to complete, and there is no deal. Too long. There's a permanent crease in your right and wrong. Stand, there's a midget standing tall, and a giant beside him about to fall. Crawl, and they know what you're saying makes
I wanted to indulge in a little bit of Santana, so I used Santana to follow up Sly and the Family Stone, going to the album Abraxas for that. That was Incident at Neshabur, and maybe I pronounced that incorrectly, but you wouldn't have known had I not really said that, unless you're one of those old-time fans of the band and you know these things. And hey, thanks for listening to the show. I appreciate it. Seriously. It's pretty awesome. We're just kind of having some fun here on the first show of the summer. Yes, the summer solstice earlier this week. What a weird week it's been. I don't know if we don't usually get too topical on here, but that whole thing with the submersible that went down to go see the Titanic, and the outcome with all of that. This world just seems to keep on getting weirder and weirder. And don't get me wrong, I like things to be a little bit weird and peculiar and everything like that. But maybe those people who say the Large Hadron Collider at CERN has done things to glitch out our timeline, maybe not be that far off the mark. You never know. You never know. Anyways, like I said, it is summertime. This is Big Brother and the Holding Company going back to Cheap Thrills with Summertime.
You're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings, shout and take to the sky, Lord, the sky, until the honey, nothing's going to harm you now. No, no. Don't you cry.
Who am I to stand and wonder to wait while the wheels of fate slowly grind my life away? Who am I? There were some things that I loved one time, but the dreams are gone I thought were mine, and the hidden tears that once could fall now burn inside at the thought of all the years of waste, the years of crime, the passions of a heart so blind. Think that, but even still, as I stand exposed, the feelings are felt, and I cry into the echo of my loneliness. Who am I to stand and wonder to wait while the wheels of fate slowly grind my life away? Who am I? What a nothing I've made of life, the empty words, the coward's plight, to be pushed and passed from hand to hand, never daring to speak, never daring to stand, and the emptiness of my family's eyes reminds me over and over of lies and promises and deeds undone. And now again I want to run, but now there is nowhere to run to. Who am I to stand and wonder to wait while the wheels of fate slowly grind my life away? Who am I? And now, my friend, we meet again, and we shall see which one will bend under the strain of death's golden eyes. Which one of us shall win the prize to live, and which one will die? 'Tis I, my friend, yes, 'tis I, shall kill to live, again and again, to clutch the throat of sweet revenge. For life is here only for the taking. Who am I to stand and wonder to wait while the wheels of fate slowly grind my life away? Who am I? Who am I? Into my life on waves of electrical sound and flashing light she came. Into my life with the twist of a dial, the wave of her hand, the warmth of her smile. And even though I know that you
that something special happens, and you happen to be that something special for me. And walking on grass where we rolled and laughed in the moonlight, I find myself thinking of you and I, you and I, you. Into my eye comes visions of patterns, designs the image of her I see. Into my mind the smell of her hair, the sound of her voice. We once were there, and even though I know that you and I could never find the kind of love we wanted together alone, I find myself missing you and I, you and I, you.
Now, I'm going to be bold in this show, and I'm going to do, some sets here and there. That was the first of, I guess, the sets, because we just took two songs from the I Feel Like I'm Fixin' to Die album from Country Joe and the Fish. Two songs off of that one. That last one there that we heard was Janice, of course, a song that was dedicated to the vocalist of their very first band in the set when we had Big Brother and the Holding Company doing Summertime. Country Joe infatuated with Janis Joplin for a while. She also did a little bit of time with Ron Pigpen McKernan from the Grateful Dead. It was a scene of youngsters. Really, that's totally true. I mean, Janis Joplin was a member of the 27 Club, and the 27th year of mine, that's a few years ago now. So they were youngsters, and that's kind of a weird thing to think that. This immortalized music, this powerful music that still seems to be affecting us, getting near 60 years later, was done by a bunch of kids. Yeah, such is the blossom of youth, I suppose. The other Country Joe and the Fish song before Janice was Who Am I? Of course, that's a question that doesn't necessarily seem to go out of style, because I think there are many, many people asking themselves that question these days. All right, fellow travelers, if you're just tuning in, this is the Psychedelicatessen right here on Cheer FM and on Radio Gordo. I mentioned at the top of the show that we're going to have a multi-song set from Gabor Szabo. That's right, probably my favorite Hungarian guitarist. The fact that it's the only Hungarian guitarist that I can readily name might have a little bit to do with that, but you know what? This is a guy whose material I find myself being drawn to more and more. It's not super electric crazy stuff, but it is weird, quirky, and that late 60s early 70s output is surprisingly solid, full of a lot of covers, and I really like his reimaginings of the songs that he does. So we're actually going to have two covers bookending this set of three. An original called Galate's Guitar is in the middle. That's from the 1968 LP Dreams, but from the album Bacchanalia, this is a cover of I was going to say Sid and Nancy, but no, not Sid and Nancy. Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra's Some Velvet Morning. This is Gabor Szabo playing that one. Gabo Zabo with a cover of, as I know it, Seals and Crofts' Summer Breeze. Right there, wrapping up a set of 3 that also include Galatee's guitar and some Velvet Morning. I'm of the generation, and maybe the subculture for whom Summer Breeze is, my most well-known cover of that one is by a goth metal band called Typo Negative. It's worth checking out. It's unlike most of the stuff in their catalog. It works. It really works pretty well. Let's get into this one, fellow travelers. It's been a while since I checked out this cut from Buffalo Springfield, and tonight just seemed like the night to do it. From them, this is Mr. Soul.
Soul, I dropped by to pick up a reason for the thought that I've caught that my head is the event of the season. Why in crowds just a trace of my face could seem so pleasing. I'll cop out to the change, but a stranger is putting the tease on. I was down on the frown when the messenger brought me a letter. I was raised by the praise of a fan who said I upset her. Any girl in the world could have easily known me better. She said, you're strange, but don't change, and I let her. Does the trick of disaster. For the race of my head and my face is moving much faster. Is it strange I should change? I don't know. Why don't you ask her? Is it strange I should change? I don't know. Why don't you ask her? Is it strange I should change? I don't know. Why don't you ask her? Is it strange I should change? I don't know. Why don't you ask her? Is it strange I should change?
In the morning when you rise, do you think of me and how you left me crying? Are you thinking of telephones and managers and where you got to be at noon? You are living a reality I left years ago. It quite nearly killed me. In the long run, it will make you cry, make you crazy, old before your time. And the difference between me and you, I won't argue right or wrong, but I have time to cry, my baby. You don't have to cry, I said cry, my baby. You don't have to cry, I said cry, my baby. You don't have to cry. In the morning when you rise, do you temperatures and where you got to be at noon. You are living a reality I left years ago. It quite nearly killed me. In the long run, it will make you cry, make you crazy and old before your time. And the difference between me and you, I won't argue right or wrong, but I have time to cry, baby. You don't have to cry, I said cry, my baby. You don't have to cry, I said cry, my baby. You don't have to cry. I have kissed you, so I'll miss you. On the road I'll be wanting you, but I have you 'cause I love you, and you have me 'cause you love me too. Yeah. The forsaken, you'll awaken to the joys of living hand in glove. And then I will, and you I will, and your days will be filled with love. Don't run, the time approaches. Hotels and midnight coaches. Be sure to hide the roaches. The rejected, as expected, you rejected all the thoughts of worth. So I pray with you to stay with me forever, and we'll make it work. Elevated, you're elated, 'cause I waited a year for you. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, then I'm gonna make my love to you. Whoa. The run, the time approaches. Hotels and midnight coaches. Be sure to hide the roaches.
Seemed fitting to wrap up that set with a couple of Crosby, Stills, and Nash songs taken from the first self-titled debut from the band. We had Pre-Road Downs, which followed up You Don't Have to Cry, made a fitting tie-in to the first act in that set when we had Buffalo Springfield. Now, Stephen Stills was in that band, however, that one that we heard was a song by Neil Young, who was also in that band and would later join Crosby, Stills, and Nash when they threw the Y onto the title, and it became one of the most sort of infighting supergroups. They seem to be known now in popular culture as much for their essentially their bickering on and off stage as they are for their music. I think more people would know that those guys would fight and all that kind of stuff more so than being able to name any of the songs. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people who knows about both sides of that particular coin, and yeah, That's just where I fall in the mix. Okay, fellow travelers, how do you feel about this? You want a little bit of Jimi Hendrix? I want a little bit of Jimi Hendrix. Like I said, this is the first sort of Saturday night of the summer. This is Jimi Hendrix Experience going back to Electric Ladyland. Long, hot summer night.
Summer night, as far as my eyes could see, but my heart was way down, cold, cold winter storm. For my darling, where can you be? Where can you be, baby? Where can you be? There were 3 sugar walls and a 2 candle cane window, but the silliest mood melted all those inside. Everybody's on fire, but I'm snowing in a cold blizzard. Where are you in this hot, cold summer? Where are you in this hot, cold summer? Where are you in this hot, cold summer night? About this time, the telephone blew its horn across the room. Scared little Annie, clean out of her mind. And drumming the candle, he peeps out of his peekaboo hide and seek, and grabbed little Annie from the ceiling just in time. And the telephone keeps on screaming. Shaky voice, well, how you doing? My stomach said, can't you tell I'm doing fine? It was my baby talking way down across the border. She says I'm gonna hurry to you. I've been a fool and I'm tired of crying. My eyes couldn't see, but I can feel the heat coming on as my baby's getting closer. I'm so glad that my baby's coming to rescue me. So glad that my baby's coming to rescue me. So glad my baby's coming to rescue me. Glad that my baby's coming to rescue me. Rescue, rescue. Rescue, 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 what I say? Rescue me, rescue, 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 rescue me,
When I came here last year, you promised much to me. When I came here last year, you promised much to me. You led me on and teased me. You picked me up and let me down. Well, I asked you here for dinner, and you brought all your friends. There's a concert you wanna see. Now you call me on the telephone. There's a concert you wanna see. 'Cause the heat's in your town and you're living right down the street. So I said, on your way to the concert, you want to stop by my hotel a while. On your way to the concert, you want to stop by the hotel a while. If you don't stop by the hotel, you can go straight to hell.
The production on those two songs, I think, kind of brought them together. I don't know, there's just something about it, sort of thin, wide, kind of feels right for a summer night. And the last one we heard was Can't Heat, a song called London Blues from the LP Future Blues. Yeah, a little bit removed from those sort of hits like Going Up the Country or something like that. Time Was is another one of those ones that maybe isn't as well known that I really like, but London Blues was definitely the one to fit the bill tonight, and it fitted quite well. I'm Randall Libron. This is the Psychedelicatessen right here on Radio Gordo and Cheer FM. We're going to get a little bit heavier while still staying weird, maybe even getting weirder in this set. It's one of our more extended sets in the show tonight. We're setting the sonic palette, as it were, by getting into a set like this that is flowing and weird. We have Hawkwind in the middle. From them, we're going to check out You Only Know You're Dreaming. Lemmy Kilmister was playing bass for them on that one. Still, not really metal, but definitely space rock on that one. But to launch us into space, we're going to go back to 1971. It's the LP Metal from the band Pink Floyd. This one is for the bass aficionados out there, I suppose, because just the heavy pulsing groove bass on here is just one of those things that I think is a hallmark of the track. Not to mention that lap steel tune to E minor that Gilmore plays in it. Surprisingly heavy song, one of my favorite moments as well. If you ever happen to check out the Live at Pompeii DVD, I first saw it on VHS in a slightly different cut. You can only find the DVD version now, which it's good, but I don't know, I do have a little bit of nostalgia around that one, taking me back to the great 8 days watching that on VHS. Anyways, this isn't that version, this is the album version. Here's Pink Floyd, One of These Days.
One more touch and then you'll see what I'll be the mystery. Visions of you know you're only dreamer. Color change instead of light. Screaming souls in the night. Visions of you know you're only dreamer. Chaos all within my mind. Wanna live with my kind. Visions of you know you're only dreamer.
1974 album You. That was Gong, Master Builder. Great follow-up to Hawkwind, You Know You're Only Dreaming, which followed up Pink Floyd, One of These Days. Heavy, weird, and getting ever spacier in that set of three. And that sets us up for this one. So, fellow travelers, and I know we're listening to the Psychedelicatessen, which typically focuses on psychedelic rock, but right now we're going to expand. We're expanding. We're going to take a trip, as it were, using music to expand our horizons a little bit, and we're going to check out something from Pharoah Sanders. It was his first album that was recorded on the Impulse label, and this is one of those things where it's been critically acclaimed as being the best when he was on that particular label. It was recorded in one day in November, I guess if we were to be pretty specific about it, it was recorded on November 15th, 1966. So they just played through this and laid it down, and we got some pretty far out music from the result of it. Now, if we're going to take a look at who's actually on here, you have Pharoah Sanders playing tenor saxophone, alto saxophone, piccolo, vocals. So that's the range of stuff that he was playing all over the whole album. You had Nat Bettis doing percussion, Roger Blank on drums, Dave Burrell on piano, Henry Grimes on bass, and Sonny Sharrock on guitar. This is jazz, but it is weird, it is far out, and it is at home here on the Psychedelicatessen. So let's be bold and check this out. This is Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. And that was quite a journey here on a summer's night on the Psychedelicatessen, Pharaoh Sanders, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. Quite a ride. Now, fellow travelers, we're at the final set of the night, and I think this is going to be a nice way to wind us down just a little bit. I know there's much of the evening still ahead of us, but it's okay. We can shift gears, maybe go outside and have a walk in the nice evening breeze. Maybe you can use this as a soundtrack to get motivated or something like that to do that. You want to stick around for the end of the show? Heck, you might even want to stick around for what's coming on Radio Gordo after this. Anyways, 2 songs coming at us right now. This is Blossom Toes, Indian Summer.
Leaves turn red, breath hangs in air. Migrating birds, they
you sing? If you could talk to me, what news would you bring of voices in the sky? Nightingale hovering high, harmonize the wind. Darkness, your symphony, I can hear you sing of voices in the sky. Just what is happening to me? I lie awake with the sound of the sea calling to me. Old man passing by, tell me what you say. Though your voice be faint, I am listening. Voices in the sky. Children with the skipping rope, tell me what you sing. Playtime is nearly gone, the bell's about to ring. Voices in the sky. Just what is happening to me? I lie awake with the sound of the sea calling to me. Bluebird flying high, tell me what you sing. If you could talk to me, what news would you bring of voices in the sky? Voices in the sky. Voices in the sky.
From 1968's In Search of the Lost Chord, an album that, well, fellow travelers, if you've been listening to this show over the years, you know is my favorite Moody Blues album. That was the song Voices in the Sky, followed up Blossom Toe's Indian Summer, also a cut from 1968, so a nice pairing there from that year. And now, fellow travelers, we do find ourselves at the final song of the night. The honors this week goes to the Beach Boys. Because this is the first show of the summer, I figured this was a nice way to wrap everything up. From those boys from Southern California, this is Warmth of the Sun.
What good is the dawn that grows into day? The sunset at night
And that's it, fellow travelers. We made it through to the other side of another edition of the Psychedelicatessen. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to tune in on this nice summer evening. I want to thank CHIR-FM and Radio Gordo for providing a home base for these psychedelic sounds to reach a few more ears from. It's always appreciated. And until next time you want a psychedelic time, you all be cool to one another, and we'll catch you later. Peace.